All right, folks, right now we're looking at the magic that is used in order to connect a client to an access point. I mean, they just find each other, right? How does that happen? We're going to start off with this idea of discovering the network. Now, what do we say? That an access point has to essentially make itself known by advertising what rates of speed it supports as an access point. Now, it said nothing about security or identity or anything else, just I'm an access point and here are the rates I support. That's what we call the beaconing message. So an access point sends that out. A client then can send out what is called a probe request, saying, do you have any service set identifiers that you could tell me about? Oh, access point that is beaconing at this particular range, at this particular speed. So the probe request will then come back to the access point, who can then say, why, yes, I do. I do have this SSID, a particular name. So when you're looking at a client and you just open up your wireless access client, you get a list of the access points that are around you. You're doing what's called a passive scan. It's just saying, and that request is open-ended. Is there any SSID out there? And all the access points will say, yeah, I'm here, yeah, I'm here, yeah, I'm here, unless they're configured not to perform probe responses to empty probe requests. We can also do what's called an active scan. That's where I know the specific name of an SSID. So I want to go to an SSID called Wi-Fund. That's the name of my wireless network. I know that service set identifier. So I ask that, the probe response can come back, oh yes, Wi-Fund is here, but of course all the other access points that might be in the area that are not Wi-Fund will not respond back to that probe request, so I don't see them. Again, it's much more targeted and specific. Now, again, there's security questions about throwing out the name of a specific network that you're looking for wherever you fire up your network. That could have some security complications. And it's one of the reasons why not responding to probe requests can actually be considered a security vulnerability. If we are looking at the message that we're sending, it's pretty straightforward. Again, we're looking at the bytes, right? So what are we sending here? The information. So the access point, right, is sending out the beaconing. The client is sending out the probe request. The access point sends out the probe response. So those probe responses are available there, and they redundantly again, add some information that we saw in the beacon, what our parameter sets, what are our values, what's our timestamp, beaconing intervals, all that sort of thing. And in fact, the SSID can be included in the beaconing component that comes in here as well. The client's probe request is actively looking for that information and can pull that out from the access points. As we look at this again, all of these include the various different supported data rates that are available. So what data rates are available by the access point and from the client. So we can turn off beaconing, in which case an access point will only be found if there is an initial probe request with a specific SSID name in place that the access point can then respond to and say, why, yes, I do have that SSID. Here, let me tell you all about myself, all this information that we see here, so that we can negotiate simply a common language. That's all we're doing at this point, is just saying, yes, I'm a client, you're an access point, we speak a common language, therefore we could continue to have enough of a conversation to have some communication occur.